Hello class, this is Pedro Gorriz. This is for Human Resources with Ruth Torres. I chose option B of the diversity exercise. I watched Schindler's List and Hotel Rwanda. The questions that were pertaining to this portion of the project were: what did you learn from these movies? Did you learn anything about yourself or your biases? And if so, please explain. Well, I learned watching these movies that leadership plays a major role as far as to how mankind values diversity. Hitler, as an example, he was a leader, and not just specifically for an organization, but for a group of people, and he was able to divert a militia and change people's mindsets by his values and his practices, how he conducted them. In the workplace, it's the same thing. If we have a leader or a manager or a supervisor, which we're all trying to become with this program, if you don't show to your colleagues that you value diversity, it rubs off into them and how they carry out their duties or their job and whatnot. How did the movies impact me? Well, I felt impacted because a lot of people were murdered by the genocide. I find it unfortunate for us to be living during these time periods. We look back on these things now, and times have changed. We don't, we really reflect on it now and say, wow, they experienced a lot of poverty, they lost their loved ones, and they went through a bunch of horrible living conditions. Um, in addition, now because of these things, we're able to, form laws to protect people from discrimination, which we all learned about in class. Um, Also, next question would be: research many citizens in the United States have disabilities or impairments. What amount of these are working? What kind of jobs do they have? Well, I found this information actually through the U.S. Census, and nearly 1 in 5 Americans have a disability. Yet, according to the United States Department of Labor, only 20% of Americans that are disabled have jobs. Those Americans mostly work part-time, serving management, professional, and related occupations. Um, I think that most of them don't work because I believe that most people that have disabilities don't work because, in my opinion, it's very political, but they abuse the system. They just agree that they have a disability and they get their check every month, and they rather not work, because they work a certain amount of hours, they don't get their benefits. It's like it's not really worthwhile for them. Um, Many of them might be able to carry out everyday tasks for certain positions, but they choose not to. They choose to, stay at home and benefit from the compensation that this government gives them. Improving the system, I think that it would involve, standardized health tests, drug tests, maybe like a BMI, body mass index test to make sure that people that we are on disability, they are really capable for it. They're not just agreeing that they are disabled. What else? That would definitely funnel out all the people that abuse the system and that are completely capable of joining the labor force. And then the research idea, which was optional, interview people with disabilities or significant impairment and gather their insights as to what it would take for disabilities to attain college degrees and gain jobs with higher levels of responsibility. Well, I asked my elderly neighbor about the question. He said it would take a time machine because it would have to take for him to be a lot younger to go back to school. He's already older. He's already developed his career and whatnot, so it's not really worthwhile for him to pursue a degree. Also, maybe some sort of incentive or bonus from the government that would help him out, as far as choosing to further his education. Let's see. He wasn't too educated as far as to what companies favor or do not favor those with disabilities. Um, I guess he's just too unaware of the process or how it affects his disability, so he's not on it. And let's see. Yeah, and he would also have to think about the amount of funding how much would it, the cost and benefit it would come from going back to school, when he was on disability. All right, next question. If you became disabled or severely impaired, how do you think, or how do you hope you would handle it? Well, I would try and become the most beneficial person I can be to society, for my country. If I could carry out certain jobs, if I can become part-time, even if, I make a little bit more compared to my compensation on disability, I would definitely do it just to not vegetate at home all day and actually, keep very active. Let's see. And if that wasn't worthwhile, be in compensation until I could find a suitable job for my condition, that they're really, that I would find suitable for my condition, whatever it might be. Next question is, as a result of this experience, how will it affect the way you interact with others? Well, if I had opportunity to employ a disabled person, I would do it. I mean, I would favor the disabled person because I know they would work hard and they would appreciate it because I understand the hardships that they go through to go ahead and step out of their home and get a job, as well as and get themselves out there and not just stay home and vegetate. So that would be something that I consider a good work habit. So I think they would be very punctual and good at their job. And I would just understand the overall effort they put into trying to get a position. So I would definitely give them a job. As a result of this experience, how will it affect the way you will recruit and manage people when you are a manager and employer? Well, I will definitely exercise more patience when managing and recruiting them, especially those who are disabled. Of course, like I said in the last question, because of the hardships they go through in order to get a position, and of course the courage that it takes to do it. In addition, um, I will consider as well, maybe there's like some government incentive. I'm not sure. I didn't really research that. Maybe I'm sure there's an incentive for employing those that are disabled or maybe are on disability, just like those that are on unemployment. You get an incentive from the government, so that might be something I would look into as well. But yeah, that's pretty much my project. Thank you guys for watching.